guy.
Wait a minute. Saul's gone to the unit just to do this by his car. No other reason. He's not going to work on his car. He's not going to look at it. He's just there for a backdrop.
We've been recording for literally 4-5 seconds, and already Dan is going the fuck in on Saul.
I'm not.
I am working on something. It's gonna be.
Are those hubcaps or are those Baziras?
Those are Weds Baziras that have been lipped.
We getting new barrels?
No, I'm getting shot blasted, cleaned up, all sorted, and I'm gonna polish them to fucking dicks.
Straightening that sensor though.
No, I'm gonna get one new one. That's why there's only 3 over there. So
I was gonna say I bent one to fuck, didn't I, mate?
Yeah.
Yeah. When did you bend that wheel, Dan? When did you bend it?
2013, maybe.
Why is it taken? Just you bent.
I don't know. When did I meet you? I met you when I crashed. So then.
2012. It was 2012.
No, it wasn't. Because I bought my car in 2012.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it was 2013.
Yeah.
I met Dan. Doing Streeto in an industrial centre. Probably shouldn't admit to this, but I don't think the feds aren't listening. Let's be honest.
No,
it's like rape 7 years ago. It's over 7 years. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's like what?
It times out. I'm sure.
I don't know if that one ever goes well. I don't know. In the U.S., I think things are a little maybe.
Yeah,
I'd hope so.
Yeah.
What is it? Is it 7 years?
If you have something that like if you have a warrant, I think it goes away after 7 years. But like, if you've done something bad, I think it can come back. It's like if you haven't had a trial for it, like it can come back whenever.
Wow. Well, there you go. But
yeah. So don't come back. Don't come back to the States. Pretty much is what I'm telling you guys.
I mean, we haven't committed any crimes in the States.
I'm not sure if I was living there, but
I mean that's probably the thing you should say on your podcast.
Yeah. We're good. We're good.
I mean, I was definitely going out drinking when I was 18, 19 when I lived in America. Drinking age is not 18 or 19 in America. But
it is here.
People do that anyways.
I did look like this, so no one's gonna go. He's. So.
They probably arrest you for looking like a terrorist. Oh, that's that. I can't say that's terrible. That's terrible. Yeah. You do a bit. You do a bit.
I did get questioned at LAX for quite some time at the little podium.
It's the guy
stand. And he's like, you've only come in with $500 cash, and you're here for potentially 6 months. And I'm like, oh yeah, this really doesn't make sense. Like in my own brain, he's making me understand why it sounds stupid, and I'm like,
yeah, it looks stupid.
Cool. Cheers, bro.
What year was that?
You start questioning yourself at that point. You're like, maybe I am here for the wrong reason.
Wait, what airport is this?
It was 2010. I was when I lived there in Irvine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Way back when.
Damn, California. All right.
Different life, different me.
You were fighting people, fighting everyone, fighting yourself, fighting your feelings for.
I was invited over to train a fella who did MMA basically, and I was paid to like pretty much fucking hang out for 6 months. It was pretty good. Training like 6 days a week. I had Sundays off.
That's cool.
The dude that I trained is actually into drifting now. He's got a 14.
What?
I bet he works on his car though, don't he?
Oh no! The cunt's rich, so he has other people working on his car.
This is the thing. Like, if you Googled Saul's name, the first thing that comes up isn't anything to do with drifting. It's Saul Del Rio fighting people in fucking different countries and shit.
Yeah, but if you Google my name, I'm eating pizzas with pubes on and like puking. It's not me, but like that's the thing.
Yeah,
it's not ideal.
Well, the moral of the story here is don't Google yourself. Anyway, we're recording, so we may as well do some sort of introduction. So this is the Low Origin podcast, sort of.
Sick.
And you probably know who I mean, I do this every time. I point on the screen, and it's always in the wrong fucking place. So,
Although you were pointing to Palmer, and it was actually correct on my screen, maybe.
Yeah, it was correct on my screen as well.
Yeah, you're pointing at nothing right now.
Yeah.
For me, but that's fine. Just roll with it.
Fuck. But yeah, okay. So we'll have everyone introduce. Well, I say we'll have everyone introduce themselves. Like I said, if you're listening to this and you've listened to any of the other podcasts, I'm sorry, but also you know who we are. So we are also joined today by a gentleman. I'm pointing in the top left. Is that remotely accurate?
It's going to be different for everybody. It's just going to be all
Is
over.
this your left? Is that my?
Palmer,
I
introduce
mean, your
yourself, tell
hand's
us what you
going up,
drive.
yeah.
If
That's
you're recording,
backwards.
it's whatever yours is. So just roll off yours.
Well,
Okay, so
I mean, otherwise it'll be 2 hours of pointing to which square it might be. Yeah.
Who's who?
Palmer, Jason. Okay, so these
Yeah.
gentlemen here, introduce yourselves.
Well, you got to go, Palmer. Yeah.
Why? Because I said all right, fine. I'm Palmer. I'm everyone's least favorite driver of Drift Team Animal Style. Some would call me the least favorite, but I'm here,
just
right?
mean.
So
Yeah, that's
pretty
just mean.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really like self-proclaimed, I think.
Yeah.
Own that
Yeah.
shit. Own that shit.
As far as
I
I was
like-
concerned, you were the brave one in an E36. So
That's true.
Ooh, okay.
That's
I
true.
mean,
hey, in the
I
UK,
just followed the trend with an S chassis, so.
exactly in the UK, if you're into this sort of thing, if you're into like stylish cars or you're into like Japanese style, the first thing you do is you get rid of all thoughts about owning an E36. It's the first thing anyone does.
I mean, that's pretty much where we're at too. When I bought the car, I think the entire team in the team chat, but literally I got a comment that was "good joke," so I was like, "All right, fuck you too."
Thanks for the moral support.
And now you have
Man.
the best E36 in the US, Palmer.
Yeah.
Oh,
Definitely.
that's been a good running joke since Adam Melzi built the same car as I have, pretty much, except with lots of free parts. We put a 1J in it, like we have the same angle kit. We got the same.
It's not as cool.
fine.
No.
Thank
it's
you.
not.
I appreciate that.
No, we had a lot of.
I don't want his Adam Army coming after me for saying anything, but
It's an odd army, isn't it? It's like if we post anything that's got Adam LZ in it, you get like the same amount of army of hatred to like more memes about LZ, man. Yeah, more memes about LZ, and then the same amount of people are like, I fucking hate LZ. I hope he fucking dies in a car crash.
Yeah, literally. Like,
it's crazy. He's polarizing.
Why can't people just be like, yeah,
he's a guy.
He's a guy, yeah. He's a dude.
We've driven with him. He's I don't know. He's a cool. We like had dinner with him and shit. Like when the camera's off, he's chill, and he's a good driver. So it's like, can't really hate on that. But yeah,
he does seem pretty genuine. I'm saying that having watched like a few videos and seeing his general online presence. The girlfriend / wife situation / affair situation, that was incredible to watch from an outside perspective.
I don't even know anything about it. But that's
probably, keep it that way. Keep it that way.
It's probably for the best.
The way to be.
Anyway, I drive a E36 M3 with a 1JZ and graphics and shit. Who cares? Jason's got the cooler car.
Well, hang on. So one of the I'm not gonna run through the questions or any of the stuff that we've had since we mentioned it on Instagram, but one of the things that somebody said was, if I can find it, which is frustrating at this moment in time, because trying to find anything. Oh, God.
We're only at the intros yet. How are you doing this, Alex?
I know, yeah. There we go. Okay, so one of them was, does he think his car's the coolest E36 because of the kit? Now, the kit is is it Bombex?
Yeah.
Bombex.
Yeah.
Is that an actual Bombex kit for, it's Bombex for an E36?
Yep.
Well, fuck me.
That's pretty cool. I didn't realize it was a kit that
every
actually
day.
was designed to fit the car. It looks fucking sick.
It does.
Thanks.
Yeah. It's surprising that seemingly very few other people use that kit.
Know about it.
It looks good.
It's amazing. In the UK, nobody knows about anything stylish when it comes to BMWs. There's like a handful, like a smattering of people that actually know what.
Like two.
Yeah, if that.
I mean,
And so, and then you get people like yourself that are over the other side of the world using a kit that probably no one actually realizes is available for an E36, or probably isn't, but it's probably out there. There's some that exist. And they just go, I'm stuck with my shitty UK BMW that I've just got to put some wheels on, lower it.
Hey! Bear in mind, in the US, their version of the M3 was like some fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, it was not
328 or something.
One. Yeah, it wasn't an actual M3. Not saying
it's pretty much like a cammed 328.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with the 46, I think, innit? Was it? Or did it get legit?
No, the 46 got like the dual Vanos and ITVs and all that cool stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not even really like a BMW guy. I just like wanted. I had a slammed S13 coupe, Sylvia front end SR, and I think that's why people are upset with me.
I was cool.
Yeah.
Whoa, I'm still cool. All right.
I've got a 36 as well.
We're not doubting
just
that.
Not quite as nice as yours.
You're 36.
Shit,
Danny.
I forgot Danny was here. I only see 4 people, like myself included, at the moment.
Danny's E36. Some of the most terrifying, probably aggressive driving I've ever seen was you in that E36, of all things.
Yeah, you have to drive it hard, but that's why I like it. And it's the shell is so fucked. It's not even worth
But that's all E36 for the UK.
Just like my 14 then.
No, to be fair, if Alex seen the BMW shell, he'll probably say it's brand new.
It is, well, his car will be after you finish with it.
I hope so.
Well, it's got a throttle pedal now,
so.
so we're going in the right direction.
Oh, throttle pedal! Wow.
It's got a throttle pedal, and a clutch. Did you know you'd been driving around with the clutch pedal bracket had all snapped off the shell? It was held on by one stud holding. The clutch pedal was held on with the master cylinder, basically. It's quite funny.
I didn't know that. No, I didn't know that. No. So, was it moving then? Was it?
Oh yeah, it fell apart. Yeah.
That explains so much.
I took the master cylinder off. I took the master cylinder off, and then the clutch pedal fell to the floor. I was like, okay, why? What's going on here? You should still be fitted, and it weren't. Definitely just snapped.
Funny.
God, my car is so fucking weird.
It needed a new car.
Maybe.
Anyway,
right.
We've done.
Yeah. So
intro.
we've done. We've done half an intro. We've also
Okay. Oh yeah.
Well, I was going to just say, for reference on the podcast, because I can never be asked putting actual pictures of anything up when I'm editing this.
That could be anything. That could be a. It's a Fiero.
Yeah, I drive a potato. I drive a red potato.
I'll put an actual picture. Right. Okay. So we've met. Jason is.
I'm the one who actually needs an introduction. All right, Jason needs no introduction.
Right. We'll just mute him now.
Yeah.
Hey Palmer, at least when people tag you in posts on Instagram and stuff, you are the only red BMW on the team, so it's easy. I was getting I get tagged in Luke's, I get tagged in Julian, who else?
You know why my S13 was white and I wouldn't paint it red.
Yeah.
This is me and Alex all day. I get tagged in shit. If Alex is
but we solved shit
of me, it's so funny.
We
tried to. It still happens.
Yeah.
But you
at least you're the one getting tagged in everyone else's pictures, not you getting tagged as the other cars. Even my car was white, they would tag you.
It's making me look current. It makes me look like I actually do something.
Yeah. I go out and do some fucking drifting, and Saule's like,
I get all the tags, all the repost pages. The Russian repost pages are like at Saule Del Rio.
Yeah, but that happens with Alex when my car goes out. Alex gets tagged in mine. And I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, I guess a 15 and a 14 are the same car.
Exactly the same.
Exactly the same. There's not one body panel different. Oh well.
Anyway. Jason, who are you? Who are thou?
Like you said, my name is Jason. I drive a red car on Animal Style. An S13, totally different with full origin kit, totally different.
Original origin.
Yeah, and an SR20, which nobody's ever done, and yeah, it's the same car that I started with, and the same car that I've had forever.
Is it actually the same car that you've had forever and ever and ever?
Yeah.
How much of that car is?
How much of it?
How much of it is still the same car? Because there's very little of the car that I bought nearly 10 years ago.
No, Alex. They may drive their cars hard, but they look after them, mate. They do.
Yeah.
They look at it and think, "Oh, that's a bit damaged. I might beat that out." Or, "Oh, look, my car's low on oil. Better put some oil in it." They do that.
Yeah.
Jason's actually the best at that, I think, out of all of us.
I mean, like fluids and stuff, I'll check in between each session before I go out.
Yeah, like I said.
Well, mine's usually blown up before, like after the first session, it's blown up. So I guess that's going on the trailer then.
I normally turn my Defi off mid-run by pulling the power lead out of the controller.
Oh, just beeping at you.
So it'll shut up.
Yeah, fucking stop. Yeah.
That's awful a lot like Fast and Furious when he just closes the laptop. You just like relive that in your head. You're like,
Yeah.
Danger to manifold.
yeah.
Smash.
You must rewield the intakes on your manifold a lot, huh?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. That's.
And floor pans, they fall out all the time. Alex's floor pan does fall out.
You should totally cut that passenger floor out and then rivet in a checker plate kick panel just in the floor, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's never going to stop this, is it? Because even though you've done all the work, it'll always be, God, do you remember when Alex's car, remember that time after 10 years of fucking around, we actually finally started taking panels off and discovered how bad shit really was? Fuck.
Yeah.
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 That'll never stop.
I mean, it got so bad. I wanted a new team. I won't even lie. I was like, no, need a new drift team. This is just terrible.
You're not
I'm not
even
doing this no more.
Yeah.
Well, fuck you, Dan.
Have you two?
You can't back out. I mean, you're co-founder. You may as well,
Gabby owns me.
He's gonna sack all of us and start again with somebody else.
Yeah.
Busting free.
Yeah.
There isn't a busting. How many bustings are there in the UK?
Busting loose. Busting nuts.
So there's team hanging loose.
Hanging loose. Oh,
like their arms that they make, they hang loose, don't they?
They do. Busting loose. Sure, there's another
hanging
loose.
Busted SRs.
Yeah, well, that's us.
That's us. Yeah.
No. Mine's delightful. Mine works.
Good.
Now it is.
Yeah, Danny, yours is good, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
do you wear the SR20 dead shirt so that if everything goes well, it's just you just assume that it's going to be dead. So if everything goes well, it's just an even better day.
Yeah, so it's a plus if it survives the day.
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly it. It's just secret optimism. I think is it's a good way to be, especially on the drift days that I've had over the past year or so.
So do you all drive SRS chassis?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have no imagination.
All right, so you don't have that one teammate that you all secretly hate that has a JZ E36?
It was nearly Alex that did a JZ.
Alex, JZ.
I considered it after my third SR last year.
I'm telling you, man, it's actually kind of nice.
Yeah.
It's still 50-50 weight distribution.
Yeah, but it's no SR, is it?
I mean,
I don't know. After the money I put into my fucking SR and thinking...
Yeah, but that's because you've gone for stupid power. 360 horsepower, done.
You tell him, Danny.
You tell him, Danny. You fucking tell him. Tell him again.
TD06s, and that's it.
Big sports noises cost money. Big sports noises cost money.
My whole set made real sports noises, but then I had no trousers to go with it. It was like, whap! And then it was just like... Big
300
horsepower
horsepower.
noises. Yeah. Who
Wasn't
puts a HX30 on and made 300 horse?
It doesn't
Sounded
even.
sick though.
What was the point in even getting it mapped? You may as well have just.
Yeah,
You
I think at one
turn
point
the
it
boost
was at
up.
gate pressure
Yeah,
and made
but-
no difference. It felt exactly the same at gate pressure.
No,
Just going
But-
for the look of it and the sound of it, and that's about it. That's about
Pretty
it.
there's a reason why your gate never worked though, Saul.
Yeah, it
because
was
you
the
split the
diaphragm.
diaphragm.
Yeah, I
when
had
you
a
put it
broken
back together.
diaphragm, and I never knew. Every time I took it apart, I was like, "Sure, that's fine." I just put it back together and was like, "Nah, still works." It built
didn't
boost
work.
while it was stood still.
Oh yeah, it
You'd
did,
rev
didn't
it and the gate had opened, and I was like, we were stood
No,
there, and I
it
was
wouldn't
like, trying to
build
work
boost.
it out. It opened the gate.
Yeah, when
so
it bypassed
yeah,
the diaphragm. Yeah.
yeah.
Fun times.
Doesn't work, but it
Oh,
was
really?
fast.
Anyway, drifting.
Fucking awful.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're just banging on about how shit we are. You know,
Yeah.
we're supposed to tell,
Drifting.
show Americans.
Isn't
how
Drifting.
that like 90% of drifting anyway?
Come sponsor us. We're dead professional.
Yeah.
We're all shit.
sponsor us.
We're all equally shit at this.
We're all about equality.
Apart from, I keep forgetting because Jason isn't on the my screen. I keep forgetting he's here. Jason isn't shit, so you know. I mean,
I saw the eye raise from there from Palmer. Like,
Hey, it's my vehicle choice. It's a little polarizing sometimes, but you know what?
Yeah, we welcome diversity on the team. So
Jason does. That's about it.
just one.
We do.
But I mean,
we
if
do.
we put like my SR in your car, Palmer, like
That'd be pretty good.
would you still be like, nah, I want to put my JZ back in?
I mean, if I had your SR, I probably wouldn't have a BMW, would I?
Yeah, that's true. I've already told you could have an S chassis, and if I give you an SR, then that would probably just go in that. So
Is it not the aftercare that would come along with that? That would be the thing that
Yeah.
BMWs don't break.
oh man, I've already I don't know. I'm probably jinxing myself now, but like my SR is pretty like
Don't say it.
for what I consider low maintenance.
To be fair, since mine's been built by like someone who actually builds engines, it's been really good.
Yeah, I think that's the difference. It's like have a legit build and then legit
Change
tune
the oil
and
regularly,
and like really take care of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Who built my last SR20, Dan?
Saul.
Yeah, but it was your fault that it went, Alex. Because
No. I built Alex's last SR20, but to be honest, he did not have one single gauge in his car at any time that worked. Not one.
all the
Ah.
gauges
Oil
got
pressure,
live, just got
oil
live
temp.
feeds. They just turned on. That was it. They just
Julian has all the gauges that came with his Sylvia, like in the dash. None of them are hooked up. Not a single one.
just there for the show.
No.
Excellent. See, this is it.
No, but I'm pretty sure didn't Julian also blow his motor and then decide to put red scotch down the fours to clean the rust off?
That was actually his JZ that lasted 3 years.
Oh, was it?
Right.
Yeah, I was there that night. I was Scotch Brighting him with WD-40 before we went. Literally the night before we went on a 10-hour haul to like a different state to go drift.
You guys did that with the JZ. You guys did that with the JZ, but Julian and I did do that with the SR that's in his car right now.
It's not surprising at all.
Yeah. So the SR that's in his car now, like the one that like a couple the ring lands broke on like 2 pistons, and so he was just shooting out a bunch of smoke and consuming all the oil and whatnot.
Yeah.
But anyways, he had
2 quarts a lap.
Yeah, pretty much. He had the block that originally came in his car. He had an over rev and it smashed a valve and kind of nicked up the piston. So he took that out, and like that block was the short block was still fine. Just one of the pistons was kind of nicked up. So he sanded all the sharp edges down on the piston, and then he Scotch Brite cleaned up the surface rust off the cylinder walls, and then we had the head refreshed and we put that back together, and then
That's what he's been running for the last year.
that's the motor that he's had in his car for the
Yeah,
last year.
but
Wow. I mean,
that's the thing. When you throw something together to just do one event, you just literally like, fuck, I want to get on the car. I'll throw it all together. All random parts that are in the shed just get thrown in the motor, and it will just carry on running, just constantly. Like my motor was it. I can't even remember what I'd done. I think I was Ringland or something, but quickly just threw it all back together to do an event, and the engine is still working now. Because I only sold it, so I know I'll forge a motor because reliability and power. And that was the biggest bag of dicks I ever done in my life.
Me too.
It
Me
was.
too.
I mean, it's good now, but
Yeah.
I mean,
I've spoke about it before, but like my engine now, it had been in my car from factory. It was the original Sorry, no, it wasn't. It was a one owner. It came out of a one owner car. Alex blew my old one up, and then that one had came out literally a bone stock 14. I put it in. It started like breathing a bit heavy. I thought it was just the valves or what I'd re-seen. It turned out it was a turbo. I sold it to a guy. He literally, I said to him, you probably want to do like rings, maybe put some shells on it, and while it's out, just have a quick once over. Didn't give a fuck. Put it straight in. Mapped it at like 300 and something straight away. Just like mint compression works, and it's been that way since fucking factory. It's just sad as fuck. And then next year, the year after, I do fucking 3 engines just for the sake of it. Don't even turn the wheel. The furthest I drove was out of the unit and loaded it up on the trailer.
I think we're probably, I'm not going to say complacent because that's what I actually mean, but the availability of SR20s in the UK is probably considerably higher or considerably easier in the UK than it is in the States. I don't know what it's like getting hold of an SR20. I'm pretty certain there's a lot of states where, in fact, no, you can get S13s and S14s, and pretty certain you can get S50.
But they're all KAs, aren't they?
Yeah, none of them came.
Yeah, they're all KAs. Yeah, but like you can import an S13, like a 180, and you can import
So in the UK they all came with KAs as well.
No,
all SRs.
They came all SRs. Okay. So there was like two. They were like 200 SX, right?
Yeah, 200. But the S13s came with CAs, a lot of them, unless they were imports and shit. So
we've never seen a KA ever. Like I've never seen one, touched one, ever had anything to do with one. Like we've
not missing much.
Know nothing about them.
Are they that bad?
Whoa.
They seem to have a big following. Like people seem to.
They have a big following because SRs are getting really expensive.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. And
they come in the car. It's a 2.4 liter. It doesn't have. Yeah. It's a truck motor.
Yeah.
They
don't flow. They're not like the head doesn't flow as well as like an SR. It's got more torque. So like when you turbo a dual cam KA, like they're pretty sick.
A lot of the people just slap a turbo on it and like get like a chip tune and like don't even put it on a dyno. So a lot of them are super unreliable.
Yeah,
the people that do
they're Horsham chips. That's what we used to do to SRs over here.
Yeah, they like really go. The people who go like to the far lengths and like actually know what they're doing with them, they can be reliable and make a bunch of power. Like one of my shop mates has like, I think it's like 430 wheel at 14 pounds.
Damn.
On E85, and it's like, sounds good, but it's like they're rare because it's like to find somebody who's going to like put the time in, they're usually going to put the time in on an SR, right? So
that's like people with CAs in the UK. It's like people with CAs in the UK. You get a few people that will use them and actually spend a bit of time and a bit of money on them, but then you get the odd people that have that when they come in with a car, they'll just put a bleed valve on it, turn that bitch fucking all the way up, and just fucking go for big dips. Yeah. That's it.
I mean, they're great, but like so many people do that. CAs have become pretty much worthless. When if you think about it, like the heads on CAs are actually massively over-engineered. They're like really not easy to tune, but they respond well to tuning, and there are lots of parts available for. They are shit, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because. Maybe it's just because they're all old as fuck.
Hopefully Michael doesn't watch this.
No, I mean Michael's stoked on his though, and his like runs like his does well. So if you guys have a ton of shit CAs that you want to send to somewhere to die, just give them to Michael.
Yeah,
Oh,
D
this
Magic,
fucking
the guy who does all the
Yeah,
livery,
yeah.
he has a CA. So
Well, they're like, what are they?
send the parts our way, we'll hook them up.
$400-$500 over here for a full engine.
What's
That's
that?
not
Oh, yeah.
bad.
I've got 2 in bits just for no reason. Just
2
because.
CAs.
Yeah. Just for no reason.
I remember years ago we probably scrapped like 2 or 3.
Well, do you remember Bolly?
CAs.
Do you remember Bolly? They had like this racking that's behind us, and the bottom 2 levels were just all CAs, all of it. There were probably 12.
All worthless. All went in.
Yeah.
Most of it went in a bin.
All just taken out of cars to put SRs in, and like literally pulled them out, put them on a shelf.
Do you know what was good though? About 4 or 5 years ago, people discovered that the CA18 gearbox was the same as an SR20 gearbox, and you could swap the bell housings over. And as soon as that happened, the gearboxes went from being like 25 quid to 50 quid to being like 300 quid. So suddenly, CAs, if it was sold as a manual CA, it suddenly went from being worthless to just like everyone wanted the back bit of the gearbox because that's the bit that
was it.
Yeah. That's the
They'd
same
buy
with-
the whole thing just for the gearbox.
Yeah. Like a KA transmission and an SR transmission are the same. You just swap the bell housing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty handy. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. It's the transmissions from Nissan just don't seem to be like they don't seem to be up to much. I know. Is Julian now on Z32?
Yeah, both of us are.
Right, so you're on Z32 as well because we used to be on Z32s and we've now gone Z33s. But the problem with Z32, they just became really difficult to get hold of and
to get new parts for.
Yeah, and to get new parts for.
Although
there's a lot of them here.
He bought a brand new gearbox from Japan for 1,500 Aussie dollars, which is about 750 quid or about 1,000 US.
That's not
so
bad.
It's really cheap, and that is brand new off a shelf from Nissan. You know,
That's
obviously
the thing,
shipping and import will be insane, but
we have like an unbelievable amount of Zs. I think America loves the Z.
you got a lot. Yeah.
The Z32
for $150.
$150 for a Z32 gearbox.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jeez, that's really cheap.
Yeah,
I think over here the cheapest you'll get one for is about $900.
Yeah.
Wow.
The cheapest Z32 box.
I always hear everybody else talking about how much more expensive they are everywhere else. It's like the one thing that we have here that's cheaper than everybody else.
Yeah.
It was a very popular car, the Z.
Yeah.
In the U.S., so they're everywhere, and there's 2 at every junkyard. If you want to go pull a box, you can.
Yeah.
The only thing I enjoyed of the Z32 box over the 350 box is the fact it doesn't smash the floor every fucking 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's the one benefit to it.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
and we could just raise our cars.
No, we couldn't though.
Yeah. You'll still hit it though.
I mean, you're called low origin. You can't raise your cars.
I know we're fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're fucked.
Then you'll just be origin.
Yeah,
I raised
that already
my car.
that kind of already exists.
We
In
ran
2018,
D-Max.
yeah, in 2018, I raised my car by 5 mil, and the first photo that was posted of it, where all 3 cars are together, people were like, "Saul, why have you raised your car? Why?" And I was like, I literally had gone up, and all it was literally just high origin. Shout out Danny Wyman, and all it was just because I'd put a bigger tire on the front, so I was trying to get it to clear, and I'd just literally done it just to get it around and work out what I was doing, whether I was going to go with that new tire or not, and everyone was literally batting on me, so I was like, "Fuck it, straight back down." And 5 mil, people were like, "I can see it, I can see it."
People were genuinely upset over 5 mil.
People were pretty
5 mil.
We used to run our cars super low too, and
Yeah, you did, yeah.
Yeah.
caught a lot of flack for raising cars, but
No. Do you know what the difference is between you guys raising your cars and us raising your cars? You've got the tracks to actually drive harder. We've got about 3 tracks, and that's it. That we
Hang
can
on,
drive
hang on,
at.
hang on, hang
And
on,
you
hang
don't
on.
need.
These guys will drive like 5,000 fucking miles. I'm exaggerating, but like we
Oh,
get
that's
pissed.
Oh yeah, no. Final.
We get the thing is in the UK.
That's
people
how far
complain-
Final Bout is. It's
Yeah.
5,000 miles.
Round trip, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we complain in this country, like we've got like a 200-mile trip to make. We're like, oh my
I don't
god,
complain about that.
that's like 200 miles
mine's
away.
a 10 hour
Oh
trip.
no. Yeah, well, yeah, for
Like-
you it is because you live in fucking France, Danny.
So Grange for us is like
Oh.
350 or 400 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, Driftland for me is 500 miles.
Yeah.
Poland.
It's not-
How far was Poland? That was like
1,250.
Is
Each
that it?
way.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a long
Each
one.
way.
Each way. So then 2,500 there and back.
Mm.
And we crossed a continent to get there. So
but
in
we
the grand
hang
scheme
on,
of
hang on.
things, it's
We
nothing
did-
compared to America.
We did that in one trip. We did 22 hours worth of driving.
Yeah.
In one trip. That's fucking. Do you guys do that? Do you guys will try
Yeah.
and
Yeah, when we went to Canada.
fuck?
No.
Jason, when he goes to Final Bout, tell him, Jason. I don't need to talk for you.
Well, when we went to Canada, which is the one Palmer trailered his car, Julian trailered his, I trailered mine. That was 21 hours straight, one way. And so
One
when
way.
I-
Wow.
Yeah.
Them
when
Poland.
I trailered my car and Julian's car to Final Bout, my dad and I took the cars and we drove straight, and that was 44 hours one way.
I think I watched a video on that on YouTube. Well, of clips of you traveling
Yeah, that
over to Canada.
was this last one where Francesca and I took the cars out.
Yeah.
And that
Oh,
one-
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that one we would do 12-hour drive shifts, and then we would stop at a rest stop and sleep for a little bit, and then
And then carry on going like.
yeah, because my dad and I basically killed ourselves trying to do it the time before, where we'd fill up every half tank and then just drive until we killed a half tank in the truck, and then fill up, keep going, fill up, and we just eat gas station food, coffee, and like just keep going.
I bet you was knackered by the end of it.
Yeah, drifting.
That was seriously when we pulled up to Shawano, the town that Final Bout has the event in and stuff. Francesca, she flew in. Originally, I bought plane tickets for myself and her, and then I forget what happened transportation wise. We were supposed to have cars like sent out there, but then that didn't happen, so it ended up like me trailering both the cars out there. So I just kind of ate the cost on one of my plane tickets, and she flew out. But getting around to all that, when we finally got there, like I'm dead, and we have this nice house on the lake rented, and Francesca's got like a really nice like warm dinner and everything already ready to go. So I like immediately made the entire thing worth it just for that moment.
Yeah.
But that was so good. I mean, just,
How did you guys? How did you guys find New Zealand? Because that looked really cool.
Oh shit! Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that was crazy fun. Especially it's winter time here around that time, and then it's nice, perfect weather over there. So
the track looks amazing. To be fair, that just that one corner, the entry to that corner just looks amazing.
Oh god,
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I was just a little more comfortable in a right-hand drive car before.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, I bet you struggled there. I guess because I suppose you could drive Julian's car if you put about 8 cushions behind your chair.
Pretty much. Even at that, it's really hard because I have to stack so many things behind me and underneath me that sitting
You're not
on
actually in the seat like anymore.
I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm basically sitting on like a flat top, almost like a fucking bench seat, and just like moving around.
Man,
I can't do it.
The legs are still like fully extended, trying to hit pedals and stuff.
I can't do it. I tried. I was. Where were we? I was drifting in Vartry in northern France, 2014, and one of the German guys there was like, take my car." Like, there was like 50 people there, and only 2 of them spoke English. And because the English are so ignorant, we were just like, "Fuck." So we just spoke to these German dudes. And they were like, "Here, take this car." And I was like, "Yeah, I won the BDC last year. We're going to be fucking sick." Get in the car. It's left-hand drive. And I get to the first corner, and I'm like, "Fuck."
Opening the door and shit, getting out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like trying to do the gears. I was trying to do the gears with my right hand, and I was like, I'd start at like I'd gone first, second, and for some strange reason ended up going into fifth. But I did it so regularly that it didn't make any fucking sense. And then that was it. I managed to chase one guy, and then I was trying to get close to him. I pulled the handbrake, but I didn't put my foot on the clutch like at all.
Yeah.
I just fucking pulled the handbrake because my head wasn't attached to the right hand and left foot. It was in my head. It was left hand, left foot. So I just like went to get close to this dude and just fucking destroyed this dude's car.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
I'm still friends with him on Facebook, so I think we're good.
He's gonna watch this. He's gonna be like, "Man, I got a shout out. Like, this is the best."
Cheers, Simon, for letting me borrow your 328 and me completely fucking caning it and destroying the handbrake.
Dude, my boss is German and his name's Simon. That's weird. All right. Yeah.
Does he have a 328?
Apparently.
I went into that thinking I was so confident. I was like, yeah, I'll fucking piss this. Yeah, I'll be fucking sick. This would be fine. And
first time I ever drove right-hand drive was Mahon in a car that got rolled over earlier in the day, and they literally like put a jack handle and a jack and punched the roof back up. And so the windshield shattered, no seatbelt, the helmet, I'm like floating in it, like no visor, and I'm just like, I'm wrong hand, flying down the front straight, and I'm like, I'm gonna die in this car, like no front grip, like the doors flapping down the front straight, and I'm like,
this is it. This is such an eye-opener. Like, as soon as you go to any event out there, you realize how sketchy shit is and how, like, there has to be a degree of, there's, like, professional, I'm going to say, professional unprofessionalism. Because if it was just unprofessionalism, people would fucking die.
Yeah.
They don't die. Nobody gets really... When I went to Nico in 2015, and the car ahead of me was a Safiro, and it was being driven by a really tall Japanese woman in high heels, right? And she flipped the car in front of me at the main, like the corner, the tripoding corner, and I was flying down in a 90 Mark II, and she's on the roof, and there's no marshals or anything like that. There's one photographer who I knew called Z, and he's like, what do I do? What do I do?
Push it.
Yeah, the woman gets out in the high heels and starts trying to push a Safiro back onto its wheels on a live track with. Do you remember those Team Reverse guys? Is it Team Reverse?
Yeah.
It was before they had like a very similar livery to ours. Before then, they were flying down, and she's there like trying to push a Safiro on that corner at the very corner. I'm like, is this okay? Is this all right? Is everyone all right with this? I'll just ask any questions and just let this happen.
I got like literally the worst kick in the nuts ever. Is I like barely could drift, right? I get out, and then they're like, oh, now he'll take you for a ride in that car. And so I sat shotgun with no seatbelt with him chasing people, and like glasses hitting us in the eyes on the front straight. We're like laughing. And I have never felt like I was a newborn infant at something in my entire life. I was like, I'm either going to like go home and sell everything I own and like drive like 100 times a year, or like I'm just going to kill myself. Like those are the two options. I didn't do either of them yet, unfortunately, but here we are.
Well,
now you can put it on a
chassis to.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No.
See, okay, everyone says, okay, you go to Japan and you're like, oh, like I didn't feel this like strong, like I need to come back, I need an S chassis. This is the reason they were able to drive these cars like this. I went there and saw it as these are the cars that are accessible. They have a junkyard with 1 million of them in there. The parts are there, and they can drive the shit out of them and just replace parts as they see fit, right? Like that's how I saw it. So I was like, I already have that. And also, I saw that as if I go home and rebuild a car, it's going to take me like a year and a half of no driving, and that doesn't do anything. That doesn't help anything. Like it's seat time.
Right.
They go in the mountain and they go drive Mahon. Dude, they literally will go drive the mountain all night and then go do an event at Mahon the entire next day.
Yeah.
Like they're psychotic. They drive so much, and that's why they're so good. Like
they did that on the way to when we did Fiji Speedway. When did I go back? I went in 2018 or 2018, and we went to.
It wasn't 18. It was earlier than that one.
Was it
17?
Who cares? That time gone by.
We went to Fuji Speedway, and my point of this is, so on the way to Fuji Speedway in the morning, all the mountain roads that go down into it, well, you go up and then you go round and then you go down. All of this was like fresh rubber, and I don't mean like 2 or 3 cars had a bit of a couple of runs. I mean, like they clearly there was at least like 20 fucking cars had sessioned that entire pass for like what looked like 5 hours minimum. It was completely black, and they were really consistent lines, like following consistent lines through this, and you could see where they were turning around and they were coming back up. Yeah. Like that was clearly, so on the way back it had rained, and most of that had gone in just like the cars going over it, because it picks up when you drive back over, it picks up the rubber that they've laid. I don't know what sort of tarmac they use in fucking Japan, but it's fantastic because it picks up shit like that really fucking quickly, especially if you've been a complete dickhead on the way to a petrol station.
They figure it keeps happening, so they have to just change the road conditions.
Yeah. Do something to, I mean, they gave the 90 Mark II that I had in 2015. They ran out of fuel at the track, and they said just go to the petrol station. And I was like, I don't speak Japanese. I don't know where the nearest petrol station is. It's like, it's fine, just go to the end of this road, turn around, you'll get there, it'll be fine. So I go get petrol. This guy comes out, he fills up for me, and he says the word drift car, and I'm like, yes.
Probably.
Yeah, I hope so, otherwise I'm in a fucking wrong place. I pay the guy, and then I leave, and then Z afterwards, he says, fucking hell, that was well sketchy. I was like, why? He was like, that car hasn't been road legal for like 10 years.
The police would pull you over and just go, guys, and just slap you in the face.
That was so sad because the only thing that I broke on that car the whole day was the exhaust came off. The whole length of the exhaust, it was a 1J. Whole exhaust came off, and they just chucked it. It was like slightly bent and stuff. And then at the very end, before I left, I picked it up because it looked like Steve Saunders' old exhaust, and it was fucking titanium. It's like they just have they're shitty cars. They just put a titanium exhaust system on for fun. What the fuck? Like if you were to ask for a titanium exhaust in the UK, thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds. They're just bugging it on some piece of shit that they've just had lying around. Like
that's why that's so when it falls off, you can pick
Sergio's favorite, get the wheel out of the boot.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't. It's not. Fuck do you want? You want a podcast?
Do you want a podcast?
Podcasts.
Podcast. We've got some.
That name's taken.
Probably. We've got some questions from our
loyal fan base.
I nearly said loyal fans, and that made me want to.
I said it. I want to go kill myself now.
No, I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna say some questions
our
from
internet
people
friends
that we know on the internet.
Our internet friends.
Internet friends. So I'm gonna vet these
in a second.
Because some of the. All right, bye.
Huh?
He's like, questions? I don't need to be a part of this.
Yeah. Oh, well, fuck you guys. Okay, so I'm going to vet these there are some stupid ones, so I'm not going to ask these. So these are, first of all, to you, Palmer. So, first of all, Billy Sutton off of R32 Live.
Great.
Friend of yours, I imagine you must know who Billy Sutton is. He's Billy Sutton, for crying out loud. He says, has he figured out how to end a phone conversation?
No, I have not. Actually, I ended a phone conversation with him right before this podcast, actually. So
Well,
because I was. Hey
Successful.
Billy, have you figured out how to use a computer yet?
yeah, he's kind of awkward when it comes to. I don't know if he was on our podcast not so long ago, and the first half an hour was spent trying to make the thing fucking work. But he's a good lad. He's a good lad, Billy. He's
It's okay, Billy. We'll get your setup set up soon. I promise.
He needs one. Right, this next question.
This Ferrari, he doesn't know how to work it.
That's true. We have a Ferrari.
He's a race engineer. Okay.
Yeah, he's like a professional man. He does
Yeah.
professional man.
Yeah, he's not.
He's pretty much Toto.
Yeah.
Wolf.
Okay, so next question is from a guy called Ty Jeffries, who you may know off of
Jeffa.
Upside Down Australian PS13 Oak Tree Outlaws, cool driving stuff.
Cool.
Ty says, "What the fuck is your favorite grassroots event in America?"
Is that for both of us? Probably.
No,
Huh?
these are annoyingly, because of the way I did this, like a fucking idiot. I have questions for you, Palmer, and questions for you, Jason, individually.
I'll let Jason answer that one. What do you think, man? I don't know. Obviously we're gonna be biased, dude.
Yeah,
The Super D events.
So like the big Super D Map Series are my
Yeah.
favorite grassroots event. Biased?
From the outside, they look
But
the
also, are they fun? Yes. So.
Also, did Jason get to run like 65 runs with Naoki? Yeah.
Yeah, they look the best events from the outside. Final bout look good, but they just don't have that extra.
Yeah, I mean it's all fun because we're all driving and it's a big group of friends, whether it's Final Bout or Super D. But it's I think the Super D events where it's more of the car. I mean, all the cars are kind of, they start out as one, but then at the end of a Super D event, it's like everything's gone from the driving over the weekend. Where I think, not to say that like we don't drive, like nobody drive. A lot of people drive hard at all the Final Bout events, but I think there's more emphasis on the car always looking nice throughout the weekend at like a Final Bout event. Whereas like,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I don't know.
Everybody's car is confetti afterwards usually.
Yeah.
There's some like you know, there's definitely a little bit more less aesthetically pleasing cars at Super D, but I think that's because the requirement to drive is a little bit more focused on like what driving style it is versus like car styling. But like I think that Final Bout in the last, like from the first Final Bout to the last Final Bout, like the driving level has changed astronomically. Like,
yeah.
So it's cool because we're kind of like both pushing each other in different ways in a sense. You got to have that conflict to get better.
There's a lot more like super nice, clean cars where the people can drive super hard too.
Yeah.
You try and look at it maybe even a couple of years ago. It's like all the super nice street cars. The drivers were very like not all of them basic, but the driving was more basic because they didn't want to hurt the car. Yeah. But now they don't care so much and they're better, and I don't know. You get a lot of clean cars driving super hard now.
Yeah.
That's a lot more forgiving.
Which is
range.
That's all we really
come off. You are fucked.
Yeah, that's all anybody wants to see anyway. Is like cool cars driving as hard as possible, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much. That'd be nice, but
not in our case.
Fucking coronavirus. It's getting really fucking old. I'd like to go drifting pretty fucking soon, really.
Well, if you can't, I've still got your car. You're not going.
That's a good point. Next question for Palmer. This is from a guy called Bad Time Tom. Now I don't get this reference. You probably do.
Okay.
Oh no, wait. Okay, so does he have any tips for my Ferrari suspension setup?
Yeah, dude, align it. I don't know.
I feel like this is an in joke.
I don't know. I don't get it. That's okay.
Okay. Okay. So the next question is from.
Oh, maybe because I was talking shit with Billy on his podcast about Ferrari alignments and stuff. I was asking Billy I was asking Billy like, oh well, like what are some alignment specs and he just wouldn't answer it. So
it's because Billy doesn't know. That's why. He sits behind the computer.
He just
He
answers
never
the phone. Hello,
turned the computer on.
Ferraris.
He doesn't know how to turn the computer on. He just sits there like just hitting keys.
He doesn't. He works in the call centre. I swear to God, Billy works in the call centre.
He pays full whack to go and sit pit
Yeah,
side,
yeah.
like gets his little badge.
Yeah. Hello, Ferrari. Yes, we have Ferraris.
Yeah, we do Ferrari.
Please hold.
Next question.
Billy.
Next question. This is from Arif. I'm never going to say this properly. Arif Hamad, 17. What is your horsepower?
I mean, I didn't know for a long time, and then I just got my car tuned, but it had some issues. It made like 320 wheel on like one of the dynos that shows you based on mile per hour, not RPM. So it's weird. It like hit 322 and then just went flat from like 400 or 4,000 RPM. So it's probably around there. I don't know, like 350 maybe. Before my recent tune, I think it was like high 200s, maybe like low 300s, maybe less. I just have a stock turbo and stock manifold, stock ECU for like the longest time.
I bet it never ever broke either. It was just lovely.
Yeah. Hopefully I can continue that.
Yeah. Okay.
You did all the strong stuff on your car, Palmer. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Jason, what's your power and rough setup while
we're coming to that, Saul. We're coming to that.
All right, I'm sorry.
We're coming to that.
All right.
I'm vetting questions off.
All right. Yeah, I'm on my phone now, so I can't see him. So
okay. Okay. So next one is from Ass Chassis. Ass with 3 S's. Ass Chassis. Why E36 and not the popular drift chassis? I think we've kind of answered that. It's because
I get that question a lot, and it's always the same answer.
It's just easier and.
No, I made a spreadsheet when I blew up my SR, and I had to move, right? Or I kept my car in a shop. The guy who lived in the shop decided he needed to move, so my roommate, he bounced. My SR was blown up. I just moved out. I didn't really have like anywhere to put it, so I parted it out. I bought an E36 because I could street park it in San Francisco. I literally stored it in a gym parking garage. I signed up for a gym membership because it was like $30 a month, and it said gym member parking only. So I hung my membership badge on the rearview mirror and just left it there for like months.
Amazing.
But like I couldn't have done that with a SR S13 with like kit, and like dude, the kit would be gone one day, the equips would have been gone the next day. Like it wasn't an option. So it was my like, I want to keep driving. This is the car that I'm gonna have to do it. And then I literally took it to an event like the day after I bought it, like bone stock. It was like I couldn't really keep up with everybody, but it felt good for like a completely stock car. And I was like, all right, I can have some fun with this until I figure my life out. And then I just it came with a cage. So it was like, all I had to do is throw coils on it, diff, and I went out and got it painted and did some like quick graphics, and it looks sick. So I was like, I'm just going to keep driving this thing, just get the seat time in. And then I blew up the motor and put a JZ in, and Julian said it drives good. Jason's driven it. Like everybody who drives it's like, this is a good driving car.
They are a good chassis. I like them.
Yeah. So
the diff situation. So E36 M3s in the UK and E46s. In fact, E46s a lot more in the UK, but E36s in the UK seem to have lots of diff issues with bits of them trying to leave the car.
I get so lost with what diff goes where, like.
Yeah, but
there's so many options.
It's not the options; it's the mounting of the diff. Like every M3 always has things like in the for sale bit, modifications done to diff, modifications done to the subframe to make such and such work.
If you want the easiest fix ever, you just drill out the front mount on the diff and put a put a bolt with a nut on it, and you get a really, really high grade. Like I put like a 12.9. I don't know what it is, and
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
same
it's the
not-
same. Yeah,
in
yeah.
not freedom measurements, but like if you drill that out, put the bolt in. If you snap the bolt, all you do is just keep a bolt with you and a nut at the track, and when your front diff bolt breaks, you just slap another one in and put the bolt on it, and that's it. It's
Is that
problem
what you've
solved.
done? Is that
Yeah,
what
and
you've
if you do all this like crazy like solid mounts everywhere and shit, it's gonna just keep breaking those. Like
Well,
if
yeah.
you give it like a point to break at, and then you make it really easy to swap, that's
that
it.
sounds like a really obvious fix, and I don't know why I haven't heard of that being done on a more
Some
regular
people like
basis.
drill it out
Because
and
we're British
yeah.
and we make things hard.
like Part Shop Max or Power by Max or whatever they're called internationally, they have like a kit where you can drill it out to like a 14 mil bolt.
Yeah,
But the problem is like then that doesn't give it a breaking point anymore, and you don't have like if it snaps, then you still have to like back it out and all that shit. So
yeah.
I don't know.
I suppose
It's easier just every time you get a new diff, you just ream the thing and put the bolt in, and you're
I
good.
was gonna say because that's the only thing that would be making me nervous of putting any engine with any decent power into an E36 is all the fucking horror stories of the diff situation. But seemingly that sounds like a quite a nice little solution there, to be honest.
Yeah, but like
It's my
from
gift to you.
a BMW
the
point
UK.
of view, mechanical grip from a BMW E36 is it'll always outweigh a S13. If you go bone stock to bone stock, E36 to S13 or S14, an E36 will always out grip or have more mechanical grip than a 13. Always. I don't know why.
Even mine on 15s is grippy.
Yeah.
13.
On 265s, if I run like a sticky tire, it's like I can almost not off throttle. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
But the cars are super fast. Like I can keep up with if Jason and I run the same tire, I can actually like kind of keep up with him, but it's almost like a little harder to drive because it's so grippy with like lesser power.
Yeah,
so I'm excited to see.
Absolutely like on it, otherwise you get spat out very, very quickly.
Do you remember the first time I tried to drive on Valinos and nearly died, Alex?
Yeah, that was a brilliant event that as well. Yeah, you've got like 500 brake horsepower and Valinos, and it was like watching someone trying to drive a bullet that had been shot from a gun.
It was so difficult. I was like, I set pressures how I usually would on a normal like a Westlake semi-slick, and I was well out on that.
Yeah.
Like 500 horsepower. Well, it's over 500, weren't it? It didn't like it at all.
No.
Yeah, they're no joke. Jason's I've driven Jason's car on the Pergias, and it's like you can't. It's like crazy. Like yeah.
You can't relax, kind of thing. You can't come off throttle. You can't chill. You have to think about what you're doing.
There's no handbrake or braking or chilling or anything.
No, and you have to also be chasing another car that's on some either the same tire or something super sticky. Because trying to, like, if I'm following somebody on some just whatever tires and I'm on Pergias or something crazy sticky, like the car just wants to just pass. Like it keeps cutting, and you're trying to keep the car back, but every time you step on the gas, it's like it wants to go away. Like
you remember when we went to DUI in Canada? Julian was running like 140 treadwear 265s, and he literally exploded like I think like 8 axles.
Fuck.
Insane.
We had a good little like pile going there for the weekend.
Yeah, that was a good event though.
We still haven't sorted our axle.
But he was like pushing me around the track because he couldn't stop. Like it was just like, you know.
Let's go.
You and
it was fun.
Jason and Julian, you both use. Well, I know Julian in here, but do you use the 350Z axles in the rear?
Yeah, now for probably the last year now.
Oh, okay, cool.
Are they much stronger?
Yeah, I haven't broken one on my car in this last year. Like I would go a couple of events without maybe I don't know. When I was running the stock 6-bolt axles, it would kind of be a toss up whether I was going to break one every event or one after a couple events or whatever.
Yeah.
if you get, I think the thing is because I've still seen people breaking 350Z axles, but usually it's the remand ones that they end up breaking. Like if you get like the OEM Nissan 350Z axles, apparently.
Like even used, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I have. Like that's what I have in my car, and I haven't broken it yet. Which I probably will now that I'm talking about it, but.
Just on that, right? Because the issue we've always had with axles, it never really came down to power so much the angle of attack for the inner CV joints. So the inner CV joints would usually be the bit that exploded, or it'd be occasionally you'd get the shearing of a shaft, but more often than not, it was the CV joints that would explode. So we use, actually it's really tough because you guys have got either GTR shafts, the 6x1, like the older GTRs, like the 32, the 33, and the 34s. Do you guys get the 5x1 GTS?
We don't.
You don't get shit all. You didn't get fuck all, do you? Oh.
We won't have the GTR ones either.
We don't get GTR anything.
No, but like
really just stock 6-bolt axles, and that's it.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. It came down to the length.
Axles.
I would. I mean,
I mean like you get 300 ZXs, yeah. You got 300 ZX, like the Z32 Fairlady. Right, so you've got GTR axles in those. So if you really wanted to, you could use the R200 diff out of those, which have a relatively shorter ratio, and they've got the 6x1 bolt. They're also slightly longer, so they have a better engagement into the CV joint. So if you've lowered your car or you put the subframe up or anything like that, the CV joint will happily operate at a better angle. But
our Z32 axles are 5-bolt.
They're all 5-bolt.
Yeah, right, Jason? I think maybe the twin turbo is.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. So
there's not a lot of that floating around. Like, there's not a lot of twin turbo stuff floating around.
So did you get?
We have most of our Zs are NA.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I've got a Z32. I've had it since 2007. It's had various engines, and actually it's been completely reshelled, but I'll never admit to that to Vosa.
You literally just did.
Now, but yeah.
He'll bleep. He never bleeps anything out. He'll bleep that out.
I won't. The floor fell out of it, and I just had to call it a day. But
it was bad.
The point is,
it was worse when he's 14.
Were you racing Toretto when the floor fell out?
Yeah.
No, it was so sad and so pathetic. I was driving home, having had a massive argument with my ex-girlfriend, and it was raining, and my right foot got really wet very, very quickly. And I've still got the video. In fact, it's on Instagram somewhere. And because obviously the first thing you do when you realise that the floor's fallen out of your car is get your phone out and
Snapchat.
Not pull over or anything.
No,
like,
Snapchat.
Check this out, boys. Check this out.
Look, boys, it's gone.
And the floor had literally fallen through. Anyway, the point is that started life as an import NA Z32, and it had 5x1 5x1 drive shafts with the CVs because it was NA. So it's the same as what you've got in the States. And then when I put the twin turbo engine in the year later, I also did the shafts and diff. I don't know why. I was kind of naive at the time. I was, it won't take the power. So I put because they were readily available, which is just fucking stupid, really. But the difference in the shafts was that they were significantly short. They were thicker, but they were also significantly shorter. Probably only by about 10 mil, 8 to 10 mil, like half an inch, give or take. And it was that change that then we used those shafts on the S14, and you start to realize that the length of the shaft is what dictates how long those shafts last on the car.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they have those adapters in Japan that like you put to the back of the hub that like spaces out for all the super Shakotan like crazy like demon camber
Yeah.
cars, like they all run like plates that are like this big that sit on their
Yeah.
axles so they can like push them back out.
We used to do the same. In fact, we used to sell them in the shop. But it's just like it wasn't really solving a problem. I have been tempted to go down the Z33.
Yeah, I
route
have as well.
because they're readily available over here. Like Z33 shafts are just fucking 10 a penny. Because that's another thing as well. We are running out of Skyline shafts. Like GTST Skyline shafts are like between 200 to 400 quid now for a pair of shafts, which is just fucking extortionate, really.
That's crazy.
3x2s are over 100 quid now, easy.
Yeah.
You can't
That's insane.
And they're fucking terrible. So I think, but the reason why I'm nervous about that is because it's taken me so long to make my current setup reliable. I mean, I've been on the same set of shafts now for
why change it then?
3 years. Well, because when they fail,
But
I can't replace them. I can't replace them, really.
Yeah, I mean, get the adapters and the axles themselves,
mate.
put them on a shelf, and when they blow up, replace them.
What you need, mate, is a wise fab front and Winter's quick change rear, and then I've seen it, man. That's what you need. That's the only option
I've only
Oh,
ever
here we
done one drive shaft. That's it. I've only ever done one.
It's
drive
because you've
shaft.
only ever drove twice, Saul.
in the what? How many years now? 8 years this year owning the car. I've done one drive shaft, and that was in Poland.
Yeah,
and they were the shafts that came with the car.
That drive shaft was rattling for 3 years previous. You just waited till you're in another continent.
I just
kept
taking it apart,
change it.
pack that bitch up, put it back together. Still knocking, but it's still going.
Do you see how quickly all group chaps immediately come down to bashing Saul for not doing something?
Pretty much.
Right, final question for you, Palmer. It simply says, this is from Volk Superhero. It says, how long have you had the car? I think we've answered that.
I think
a long time.
5 years, 4 years, 4 years. I had my S13 for about the same before that. So I got that in like 2010 or 2011. I think it was 2010. Yeah. So
when do we stop?
Yeah.
When do we stop?
When do we stop owning the E36?
No.
When do we stop drifting? When do we grow up?
When do we grow up?
It's time to stop.
It's time to stop.
I don't know, when you have a bunch of kids or something, I think that's usually what happens.
Yes,
like a lot of them.
Saul. Yes, Saul.
It's not stopping me so far.
I know, yes. Coronaviruses.
Yeah. Aldi nappies are cheap. I can buy £350 maths.
Yeah, I'm glad you fired me on the Aldi nappies thing, man, because they are fucking cheap as shit.
Hey, I was like, what are the other one, Pampers or Aldi? I was like, £8, like 40 odd p. Fucking in a bit.
Exactly. This is
the amount of shit that was up her back with fucking Pampers nappies. I was like, no, not for the money you cost.
This is what people come to the podcast for. They come to the podcast to know about what nappies
kid origin
by their baby. Right, Jason, are you ready for your questions from our loyal
fandom?
Yep.
Okay. Like I said, I'm going to try and bet these for stupid ones. Okay, so
I'm open.
It's hilarious looking through them. There's so much like shit posting. It's just people being dicks.
Mildly offensive, but like also.
You should have hit us with those, man. Those are the questions I want.
Yeah. No, you don't. some of them are just really fucking weird. So this is from Angus Bentley on Instagram. He says, "How have you made an SR20 sound like a rotary?"
That's probably I have a Doc Race top mount ram horn manifold. That's kind of what gives it the like rasp, I guess. And I've heard a couple cars that have the same manifold and it's like a similar sound. So I think the only thing that would really differentiate mine to the other ones that are running the same manifold is like I have a little bit of head work and some fat Tomei cams. So I think that's just kind of what adds to the.
So who manufactures the manifold?
Doc Race.
And is it the same as any other manifold, or is it because there's a few in the UK that have got like
It's like
massively
it's like
different
a thick-walled equal length top mount manifold.
Big
I
dirty
think
primaries on it.
They're the same. They're the same shape as the ones that we've got, Alex. Like they all come out. They all kind of like duck under and then just all join in one place. But
Surges has
ours
got
are made
one.
dog shit.
Oh, has it?
That's why. Yeah, that's why Sam's car sounds rowdy.
Burgess' bottom mount.
Yeah. But either way, top mount, bottom out.
If you want all of the questions, there's some here that are just fucking emojis. Do you want me to read out the emojis? Yeah.
Read the emojis.
Is it like a length of emojis, or is it just one emoji?
There's a few. I'll read them out. So this is from Miss Julia Louise. It's just a load of smiling, happy faces, followed by some crying, laughing faces, followed by some laughing, smiling, crying faces.
Nice.
We have found the bots.
That sounds.
Yeah,
like
I was gonna say that's the bitches you're trying to get us to follow back, and then
Yeah.
dick pics and shit.
Here's one from
goes, isn't it really?
From Ty Jeffries again.
Yeah.
We've got
okay.
SR20 Daddy in the house, and then some. I'll read the emojis. Clapping hands. How much power does the S13 make? Big fan, Ty Jeffries. Shout out Ty Jeffries. He was on a podcast recently as well.
Mine's like on a cold day in the dyno room, it's just over 400. So
Is that E85 or not?
What's that?
Is that on E85 or not?
No, I've run 116 leaded.
Oh, okay.
Leaded. Oh.
I don't know. I don't know. Is that leaded as in leaded?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, like as in the stuff that they do not allow in regular vehicles anymore.
What's the reason? What's the reason for that?
Super high octane, and it's kind of
okay.
Yeah, and the lead kind of, I guess, helps more detonation protection, and
it does. That was the original reason for putting lead in. Well, it physically. What was it? It was the same guy who did that, who put lead in petrol, who was the same guy who discovered the incredible insulative properties of asbestos. Great guy.
I think part of it
single-handedly killed millions.
Like some of the older
Hitler of automotive and industry
had like kind of needed like the lead in the fuel for like valves and stuff.
Yeah, it protects the cylinders.
Well, I mean, your run-of-the-mill pump fuel is not brilliant, is it at all?
No,
it's like 95
especially in California, it's even worse than the rest of the states.
We have the lowest out of everybody else.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't get it, right? So in the UK, we get the shit is. I mean, the first thing is I think the rating numbers are completely different. So we have the lowest is 95 RON, and the best is probably 100 RON that we can get from.
Well, V Power is 100 octane, isn't it?
Yeah, 100 octane. But then
that V Power,
not the same.
You get V Power Plus now, though. That's more. You get V Power Plus now.
Nitro, which is
Nitro. That's it. Sorry.
Yeah, but
Poland, you got V Power Race.
V Power Race, which was fucking. I didn't even dare put that in. You fucking ball the engine.
101.
I'll definitely go fast now. Anyway,
but the point is, in the States, the rating numbers are completely different. It's not even remotely similar. So, like, what would your lowest be?
Our lowest is 87, and then our highest in California is 91.
Oh my god!
But if you go over the border to like Oregon, they have 92, and then if you go to like Texas, they have like 93, because
this all just sounds terrible, though.
That's where the fuel barons live.
But then I think I'm pretty certain that like 93 is the same as our 99 and 100.
It's not though. I mean, it can't be. Would you?
I don't think it is.
I wouldn't put an SR20 over 500 horsepower on pump fuel from America.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't think you could. Not 91, not 93 either.
Like
if you get enough timing out of it, probably not.
Yeah, in my car, I used to run like a Sunoco 100 octane unleaded fuel. and that's what it had been tuned on for like the first couple years. And then I don't run O2 sensors or anything in the exhaust, and the leaded fuel is basically the same price as the 100 octane fuel, so I could go up to like a 116, or there's start like the lowest leaded I think that they usually sell at the track is like 110 leaded, and then it's just how much lead is in the fuel as to like how if the octane's up a bit higher and stuff. And so our track local to us, they have 116 leaded at the pump, and it's the same price as what I was paying for 100 octane unleaded before.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I mean, like we can get race fuels. Well, everything, if it doesn't, we only get unleaded and diesel. You get 95 and a 99 octane at pumps. The rest is classed as race fuels. But like to put my car on race fuel, because I did look at doing it for a while, but it works out at a litre of 116 octane, so it's like a methanol mix, I think. It works out in US dollars, it works out about $6 per litre.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, per litre of fuel. So it was just like, I'm not doing that.
Like $30 a gallon.
That's like, it's like 3.5 liters to a gallon or something, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy money. Yeah.
It's not viable.
You pay a lot more for fuel.
Yeah, ED5's like $3 a gallon.
E85 over here is insane as well. It's classified basically in race fuel. You can get it all over Europe, but over here we don't get it.
Here.
And it's basically you can only buy it from like Sunoco or people like that. They sell it by the barrel.
There's literally like a pump. There's a pump down the street from my shop.
Yeah, it's the same with Australia as well, because it runs colder and obviously it makes so much more power. For some reason, we don't have it. That's all.
Yeah, if I put my car on the 85, it'd probably be like 450 or something around, like on the same boost and stuff. That's the other thing is I'm only running like 16 pounds of boost.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
it's just over a bar.
Yeah, for a 3071 Gen 2.
Yeah,
isn't it? Yeah. Oh, get that baby up to 2 bar. She'll like it.
Yeah. So like I had an old GT 3076 on the car originally, and with a big exhaust housing on it, and so it was, and I had I had fat cams in the car too. So my car for the first probably 4 or 5 years with the motor in it was just like some super laggy setup, but I got used to driving it, so it was whatever. Like now, it's still laggy compared to a lot of other cars now, but it's like so much more responsive than what I've been used to, so it's great.
I can relate to that.
I don't mind lag. I don't mind it.
I had the wastegate line come off on the dyno one time, and so my tuner's in the car, and he's got his own knock sensor into like some head
deck cams.
Yeah, and so he's doing a pull and like looking at everything, making sure nothing's going off, and he does this pull, and I noticed the car like sounds like hit a new pitch of noise, and like it was like made like just over 500 horsepower on like 28 pounds of boost on we were still using 100 octane fuel at the time.
Once.
That's sick.
Yeah, but that's
so he kept going because nothing, like the motor wasn't showing any signs of like having anything going wrong, and there wasn't any issues. And like my motor is forged, so it could take it, but I don't need it. Like I don't need that. I don't need a 500 horsepower SR for the sake of doing it, because the engine itself can actually take it. So that's why
Dan.
Yeah. I mean, I don't need it, but it was hilarious to do it.
Yeah. So
it's quite scary. Like to drive that car daily is quite a scary thing.
What?
Your car as a daily it's quite a scary thing. 500 horsepower.
It's hilarious. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, the original idea was because we wanted to go Europe more. I was like, I'll build a forged motor, but I'll just keep the TDO 620G on it, and I'll just put a built motor in it, and we'll leave it at that. And that shit got it. Well, then I ended up sleeving the motor, and then it was just like, well, that turbo's pointless on that. This fuel system's pointless. We'll just get carried away in the build, I guess.
Yeah.
Carried
And
away.
here we are.
Well,
Yeah.
we're missing out bits of the fact that we both bought engines from somebody that ended up basically being fucking boat anchors.
No, well, mine was good until a dart and sleeve crack.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's one of them. Either way, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm at 500 horsepower now, and well, I'm over that. We were doing 500 horsepower with wheel spin, but yeah.
I've got another question here. Jay. I know.
Question. Shoot.
I know we cut you off halfway through that, Jay. I'm sorry. But
It's okay. I'm fed up of talking about myself.
This is a question from the UK's most infamous man in Japan, a guy called Matthew Steele, also known as Mito.
Also known as Heathen Defiance, also known as Man from History.
Also known as Utter Gobshite.
Should we plug Drift Crash for him too?
Yeah.
I like that he named it the thing that like I was like, oh, that's really clever. He named it the thing that everyone Googles.
Yeah.
Crash.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Genius. Okay, so question from Mr. Mito. What is your front camber in degrees?
I don't know.
Oh, positive.
Oh,
yeah.
This is a.
Or sorry, I should look confused, but also going like this, like.
When's the last time your car was on an alignment rack, Jason?
I don't know.
Sick.
I think probably the last time my car was on alignment rack was maybe 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah.
Same.
You've hit some people since then.
Yeah, no, but I
Yeah, he
mean,
caved in the whole front right of his car when our cars decided to connect to each other.
yeah, I like.
Oh, the cars decided to do that, did they?
Yeah, wasn't
I
us.
shoved my front wheel like through my firewall.
So you've not done any alignment
toe
since?
plates or anything? Do you have like a set of toe plates just to check the tie?
Yeah, we do toe plates.
Yeah, I'll do toe. So the only thing I measure is toe with toe plates.
And back?
Yeah, back I don't really do that often. More just the front, but like the back, I'll just kind of do a little bit of toe in the back, and then everything else is just eyeballed. So.
Jason doesn't change his car as like Julian's always changing his car. It's like new turbo setup or like change this suspension setting or this or that because he's always like messing with it. Jason just like if it works, he drives it and he maintains it.
Don't fixes it.
If that tells you anything.
I've always
putting smaller cams in my car.
What are you running now?
What's that?
What cams have you got in your car now?
They're 280 Pro cams.
Oh damn!
280.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty Larry.
Yeah, I run a 260 Pro cam and it's okay. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
work.
I go down. I think when I end up refreshing the motor at some point, I'm going to go down in cam size. It's just everything like it's just annoying to re-shim the head if I swap different cams in and stuff.
Yeah.
Working, so it like to me it
Where
feels good.
Where do you even get new shims from? I mean, can you ring up Nissan
probably?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can I have some SR20 shims?
Mix of Nissan or Tomei.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
I mean, I made mine because I'm cheap.
Yeah.
Oh,
You can make your own too. I know.
I was gonna say we've got a pile of shims that we just every time we take a cam out or we.
Yeah, but yours are slightly different because Alex, you're using a hydraulic lifter, so.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, we're on. I'm guessing you're on solid pivot, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same. The rattle from it is annoying, but because
mine is surprisingly like I'll have to take a video of my car running, but like my head's pretty quiet.
Oh no, mine's noisy as fuck, but I'm just like it's not broken, so I don't really care.
If it isn't broken, don't fix it. Right.
Yeah.
Next question. Next question from Billy Sutton. Billy Sutton.
Is it gonna be about have I also figured out how to close a call or something? Yeah.
No, it's
you should
It's
You should
something
check.
that I'm gonna. It's something that I'm gonna pronounce incorrectly. It's best drift spot in Borrego,
Oh.
Borrego,
Borrego.
Springs.
Best drift spots? The fucking entire town.
The
Main
middle
Street.
of the town.
That's where
Main
that's
Street.
that's where Jason's wedding was, and he
Yeah,
brought the car.
Sick.
Yeah, wedding was at the beginning of this year.
We got some clips.
Yeah. So
Sick.
like, there's like this small little. We took pictures out at. They have all these cool like rusted sculptures and stuff just placed out in the desert, and we
Dragon.
had taken pictures under this like big dragon sculpture. Francesca and I were all dressed up and whatnot, and I had the drift car out there because I towed it down to SoCal to be at the wedding, and like, afterwards there were groups of people because everybody goes there and takes pictures of sculptures, whatever. And there were like groups of people there, and I just like did a burnout down the street and then hit the first turn that like
Yeah, he threw it in sick. It was cool.
Did you hit the first turn like at pace or during a burnout?
At pace.
No, it started originally as a burnout, and then
Everything starts as a burnout.
Always.
So I would say a mix, because probably not as fast as I could have gone into it because I started with a burnout, but it wasn't like a burnout turn.
Has anyone approached you from the authorities in this little town?
Not yet. I'm waiting.
7 years.
I'm waiting.
I'm sure 7 years.
It's like rape.
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Stop.
It's not like rape.
No, we were talking about
likening
Is there like I don't know? They said you have a lot of kids. I'm like really worried now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, next question. When is Low Origin and Animal Style planning on driving together? That's from Boosted Gravy. Now, I don't have any plans, but I'm sure it'd be really, really nice to get over there and do some cool.
Well,
driving.
I'll tell you what, you guys don't want to come here because our tracks are dog shit. So we're gonna have to probably pony up and probably come over to you guys.
Also, I'd be embarrassed to inflict our weather on you for
I know.
more than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I've been.
I don't know.
It's not
I
that
reckon they didn't.
And the beer.
I mean, I've
reckon
been
it'd be
to
okay.
I've been to the UK.
Have you been?
Yeah,
London.
Oh,
Definitely.
you went to Driftworks, didn't you?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Did
Stop
go to
by.
Drift-
I didn't know who else. Like, I tried to hang out with Steve and Dan, and they were both like, "Yeah, like there's nothing to do where we live, so like you might as well just stay in London." I was like, "All right, guys, like it's
Bye,
cool.
then.
Fuck you,
Okay,
Steve."
bye.
Fuck you, Steve. It's an
I
awkward
got
one.
to do a
isn't it?
9-hour flight, and you just told me no. You ain't hanging with
Yeah.
me. Brilliant.
Yeah,
People
look, man,
in the-
I've seen his little Steve like 100 times on Snapchat, but you can't hang out with me in person, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on,
Brilliant.
man.
I've seen this guy shit.
I've seen you, Dick.
a
Please
snake.
reply.
Yeah, but he won't hang out with me in person. That's cool. It's fine. Like,
We went out for it was Alex's stag do in Manchester, and Sean, Steve's mate, who you probably know from the Snapchats.
Pretty blue eye man.
We literally
He has beautiful
we got
blue
to like the
eyes.
first main junction from my house, which is less than a mile, and Sean's dick was already in Steve's mouth. We hadn't even got out yet, and we were just all like,
What?
I don't think it was like that. I think it was less homoerotic, more
like, "Wait, lads!" and everyone was like, "We're going out. It's 8 o'clock in the evening," and we're like, "Where the fuck are we going to end up now?" Like it was a
yeah, if that's
fucking-
the start of the night, what does the end of the night look like?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
Oh, you never find them. You never find them at the end of the night. You never.
No,
find
yeah,
them.
they're
They're
vanished.
spooning.
They're
They're
gone.
spooning in the back of a car somewhere.
I
Yeah.
woke
That's
up
how
the
they
next
usually
the next
Dead
day.
somewhere.
They were both just walking around eating toast in my kitchen, completely naked, the pair of them, and I was like, "There we go." Thankfully, no women live in my house. Well, at the time, they didn't live in the house, so I was like, "I'm sure it'll be all right. Don't go outside, guys. You'll be fine."
I like how this starts out as when are we gonna drive together?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And
Is
then
it-
I don't know.
There's-
Whenever you want.
Let's talk about
Whenever you want.
Yeah.
The only issue you got is
we should.
I've looked in shipping our cars over there, haven't I, before?
Yeah.
It's just I'd have to get a race car passport for my car because apparently it's illegal in America.
Yeah.
To
Oh, really?
own an
Not
S15.
everywhere. It's not illegal everywhere, though,
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah, it is.
Is it? S15's illegal. It's
Yeah.
illegal.
Not until they're 25 years old.
You cannot technically have them in the U.S. until they're 25 years old.
Yeah.
But like, I thought there were certain states that you could have.
No, there's just ways of getting them in the country, I guess.
There's a lot of people. Canada has
Through
15
Canada,
years.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
driving. Like your cars at Grange would probably not come back very nice. Grange is pretty tough on vehicles.
Yeah, but that'd be absolutely fine.
Nice
That'd be absolutely fine.
Let's go then.
Yeah.
It'd be absolutely fine.
I mean, our cars don't last at like any event we do. Our cars usually
nothing.
get pretty badly fucked up.
Yeah,
I mean, even if we don't get on the track.
Yeah, you'll fit right in.
Yeah.
We have 60/60 cars, good at 64 at 60 mile an hour. That's it. So
Yeah. But yeah, okay. Well, that's that would be something that would be really, really cool.
Yeah.
I was going to say, when you said you'd been to the UK, I immediately was reminded of I can't remember the hell it was. So that they'd been to Europe, and I remember thinking like like people in the US, they'll say that they've been to Europe, and they could have been to like Rome or like Barcelona, but they could have also been to Slough in the UK. And like
Skegness.
It's not the same thing.
You're not trying to be specific.
Yeah.
Palmer came to the UK and hung out with Starkey. That is, I would have just got my straight back on the flight and gone, no, I've had enough of this shit.
This is terrible.
Fuck you, Starkey, I'm out. This is fucking
Oh.
terrible. I don't care about your big country loves wing. Fuck off.
Right, I've got a couple more questions. We'll fire through these. This is from Jake Pearson, 91. Do you agree no V8 should be swapped into a 200SX and should only be SR'd or 1JZ'd?
What's a 200SX? Sorry, Jason.
200SX is what is...
I know.
240.
Palmer's being Palmer.
240.
240.
240 FX. Why is Saul and Daniel changed places?
I know, yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I don't have to be reminded of Saul's car that he's not going to work on no more. He's gone.
Bastard.
Bashing Saul every 5 seconds. Get the fuck on with you.
I've got to, because every time he says he's going to go do something now, I can say, aren't you
Hey
lying?
Dan, do you know I asked you about repairing my car next year because you've done Alex?
And I said no. Yeah, carry on.
said no. I've come up with an idea of how you're not going to need to do that. Maybe.
Okay, so you quit drifting and you're going into.
Well, no one's going to buy it because it's a
archaeology.
fucking mess. So.
Anyway,
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Go on, Saul.
No, I'm getting a free car.
Yeah, we know that, yeah.
Yeah. So the free car is a B reg, so like 2000, last of the 14s, so 14A. It's totally free. Well, I've got to swap in my old turbo. That's it. But to me, it was going to sit on a shelf forever and never get used. And he wants a turbo, so I was like, "Cool, I'll take your shell to learn how to weld on and do the sills on it, and that's it." And then eventually,
Alex's face is the best thing in this at the moment. Like, cool. So where are you going to put that, Saul? Where's that going, Saul?
it's going in the yard outside the unit over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's loads of space at the unit at the moment. So it sounds like Saul.
Anyway, where were we?
Sounds like Saul is committed to not driving ever again.
No, it's going to be write that off and worst case scenario. And it's
Saul.
rusty,
We've been trying to write that car off for years. Years. Anyway, Jason. The questions, the vitally important questions from the nutcases on Instagram. So V8s in S bodies. No.
Honestly, to me, I don't care. I'm never gonna put one in my car. But like, I have some friends who have V8S chassis, and it's cool with them. Like,
well, I think the issue being is KAs are such a people just bashing on like fuck, and they can't get SRs that easy. Whereas over here, we're spoilt with SR availability, and the
You
fact
can
that
get
people would
CJs and
bypass
1Js.
that.
You can get a JZ or an LS for cheaper than an SR at this point.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
in
So
the
you can
car,
create
but like the motor itself.
Yeah, you can
Oh,
buy
said-
it.
Yeah, when
cheaper.
you pop it and have to replace it, then an LS is cheaper.
Yeah.
Than
I've said
Yeah.
this.
I mean-
I've said this multiple times.
It's just personal. There's like so much. I know it's America, dude. America loves V8s. We got a lot of friends that like that
But
stuff.
it comes down to availability. Let's make no bones about it. If we were doing this in the States, 100%, we will have ended up sticking a JZ or a V8 in our cars long ago, because
Get in the fucking sea, Alex. Get in
trying
the
to
fucking
do
sea.
trying to do any of this shit with SRs being as rare as they are, we would have got bored long.
I wouldn't have. I would have just been in massive debt with Mazworks.
Yeah.
Like the credit card
Kill it,
would be.
everything.
Yeah.
A purple credit card.
I think
Yeah,
it comes down to also if you have. I mean, I would like my own preference. I would rather spend shitloads of money on an SR than having a cheaper LS or JZ in my car. Like, so it depends on what you're going for.
If some guy's got a V8 in an S13, 40, 50, no matter what, but if they're absolutely throwing sports maneuvers down and like massive entries, then you can't complain about that.
Nah.
It's one of those. Like, I don't have a problem with people who V8 their cars when they do that. It's when they put V8s in their car and they go so slow into the corner, grab the handbrake, get it sideways, and then just put the foot down in any gear and then
In
just
any
power
gear.
slide out of it.
Any
Yeah.
year, it's like
That's the weak sauce shit.
That's what I took. The only time I've ever driven a V8 S body, that's the only thing I took from it. I felt like I could be in any gear. It was like just stick it in fifth or sixth and just
Like 3 months ago, I got to drive a hatch, like S13 hatch with a like race LS and Wisefab, and it was. I got out of it and I was like, I understand why people want this, but I would never want this for myself. Like it inspires a very different driving style. Like it's like you point the like. Have you ever driven a car with Wisefab?
No. A lot of people who I've spoken to about it just they tell me not to. But yeah, carry on. Sorry.
You literally like. Okay, so those of us who drive SRS chassis or used to, you know that like as you lay on the throttle, you can carry the car out wider. Like you can adjust your line with the pedal, right?
Yeah.
In a Wisefab car, it doesn't at all. Like you add throttle, you go forward. You go wherever the wheels are pointed. So it's like it turns the car into like a steering wheel's where the car goes, throttles how fast the car is going in that direction. And it's so weird. But I do get it for like the people who want that, but it's just not fun. Like it doesn't like put a smile on my face.
I got into an internet argument with some dude, American dude, when we were bashing on. Who were we bashing on the other day? FP driver. Kyle Mohan. Yeah, or whatever.
What's his name? Is it Kyle Mohan?
Mohan Racing or something on Instagram.
Like they fit Wisefab to the car, and they have zero Ackerman in the angle, and they have zero scrub in the flaming tires at all. So then they have to run 100 tread wear front tires just to make the car actually do something that kind of resembles a car. It's just pointless.
That was that MX-5 from FD like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
My problem with that car is that the wheels were outboard of fucking everything, and then if you zoomed in, you could see that they'd riveted on an over fender, but it was nowhere near the fucking wheel. If you're gonna,
you would never get near the wheel.
Make something. No, but try.
Make
Don't
effort.
go. We can't do this. Let's just rivet it on.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that Skyline? There was an R32 in the UK, and they'd stuck the rear drive. In fact,
the
whole
Tesla
thing
rear drive.
from a Tesla, right? And the concept was great, and it drove quite impressively. Like it was an on-off pedal, as you can imagine, with an electric car. But like they'd put like barrels over the wheels, and then just sort of. It was so fucking awful. But because they'd done such a bad job.
Hold on. Danny, what are you eating, man? I was going to say, it looked good, man. I'm getting a bit peckish right now.
Oh,
But
man.
No, I've not eaten yet.
Shove it through the camera.
He's like 10 o'clock at night and I haven't eaten since like 12 o'clock.
It's fine.
Black Maria pizza. It's only
we've got-
12 o'clock now in America, so
Yeah,
Oh,
it's time
look
for
at
you.
that.
It's time for that. That does look pretty
Time,
good. We've got 2 more questions, and then we'll go. We'll do a fuck off.
Oh, fuck.
Okay,
right.
fuck.
I mean, I feel like we've done 2 hours of chatting absolute nonsense.
Have we done 2 hours?
There's no,
That's what we
I don't
do.
know. I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
right?
I actually don't know. How long has it been?
It's been about like
I ain't got to
About
watch
2
them.
hours.
yeah.
All right. We'll just do a couple of questions and then we'll do. So last one. In fact, no, because all some of these are properly nonsense. What manifold do you use? We've already answered
Not racing.
that. How long have you had the car? We've already answered that. No questions, but this is going to be really.
How long have you had the car, Jason?
What?
How long have you had the car?
11 years now. 11.
It was your first car, right?
I like bought and sold my first car before I was 16. So, but this, yeah, my drift car was like my first car in high school.
So you drive at
wow.
16.
Every single podcast that Jason's been on, he's had to tell that story more than once.
This is his second time he's ever been on a podcast. He was on my first episode of my podcast. Shameless plug. The goodest cast. Check it out. It's worse than this one, but you know.
So technically, yes, every podcast I've had to say 2 now.
Exactly.
How long I've had my car? I've had my car since I was 16, and I just turned 28 a month ago. So
see, driving at 16, that's fine. Driving an S15,
not fine.
And
Not
S15.
fine.
yeah. What are you talking about? Yeah.
I just there are certain that.
No, but to be fair, I'm going to say it. When the chance comes for you guys that you can get S15s, don't bother. Stay with an S13 because I missed my 13 so much compared to the 15. I could drive the 30. Like the setup's similar, but I've put a fuck ton more power in this. But the setup was similar when I started with it, and the way the 13 chassis feels compared to a 15 is just.
Do you want to trade for S13?
Yeah, go for it. I mean, can we make yours right-hand drive though first, please?
You want to trade?
I can't drive on the wrong side of the vehicle.
Duo column swap.
It should be worth more because it's left-hand drive, right? It's cooler.
I mean, to be fair, if you want to send me a S13 convertible, that'd be nice.
Why do people like that so much?
Okay, don't get Julian and Jason and Julian. We were in New Zealand, and Joel from C's Garage was talking about garage. Sorry, he was talking about he's like, I just really want a vert, and Julian's like, oh, and I'm like, dude, they don't have them. They're American only made. Like it's like this weird random car that you can't get. Like it's cool because it doesn't exist. I mean, and then
ugly as fuck. Like the convertible.
No, the 15.
S15 is terrible. That's everybody agrees on that.
Horrible.
The PS looks good.
Okay, so speaking of things we never got an S15 convertible, and those I would rather have an S13 convertible before an S15.
Yeah, S15 dog shit. Ugly as fuck.
The fact that it had its own name, like the fact that it was
Varietta.
It's like, who the fuck got to? They designed the back section where the boot is and just went, yeah, we're fucking done. We're going home.
Yeah, we're out of it.
It's 5
No,
o'clock.
what they did was they just got 15 and was like, we need to now take all of this roof and fit it somewhere in this boot. So rather than redesign it and make it nice and fit behind the seat, we're just going to stick some shit on the back and just make it a bit taller, just make it go under. Yeah, it's fucking dog shit.
Didn't even look at the car. It looks like it's just like, the roof goes down.
All right.
It looks like a Mitsubishi Colt convertible. If you ever see a Mitsubishi Colt convertible, it looks like one of them. But yeah. Anyway, I think.
Do you ever see yourselves going back to Hot Boy style over Ride High Gang, stick your head in your arch?
Whoa.
I understand it though, from the knuckle.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean,
I mean,
so
for sure, if we had Nalky
Jason-
come over here and drive a car for us that says, no, it's all shit, do this, we'd be like, yes, sir, not a problem, we will do that. Thank you. We would do it. No
how
doubt.
it played out, like, so Ryan, you remember Ryan Cotto? We haven't driven with him in a bit. We miss him. We love him. He was the one that kind of like did it, right? And all of us were like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, he like raised the front of his car like 2 inches and put B knuckle on it from the heat maker, like drop knuckles, and we're all like, "The fuck, man! Like, what
are you doing, man?"
Yeah, what are you doing?
He went from the heat maker to the B knuckle.
Yeah, everyone has at this point. Well, heat maker produces B knuckle in the U.S.
So it's just either getting the drop knuckle or getting B knuckle,
or the non-drop knuckle version, which is B knuckle, and the points are actually pretty similar. Like it's kind of crazy. We like put them next to each other, and Julian hadn't seen B knuckle like before he created like the heat maker knuckles, and we like put them next to each other, and they were almost identical. So like they both made like the same knuckle almost, minus the like drop portion.
Yeah,
so,
I was messaging Julian like, when was it? 2 nights
we couldn't
ago,
believe
maybe,
it.
trying to get heat makers off him to.
Yeah.
I want to try because I really want to try him on this because obviously without raising, I can't run a B knuckle on this without raising it, and
the drop ones are sick.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They look really, really good. So
yeah,
that's where I'm gonna go. Hopefully.
So Ryan did it. We all like lost our minds and we're like, "What are you doing?" kind of thing. But like, not really, because Ryan's just he's super smart with suspension stuff. And then when they shipped their cars to Mahon, Julian's car was still slammed, Jason's car was still slammed, Ryan's car was not. And Ryan was able to jump the berms and like really drive the whole track. And I don't know, Jason, like, what do you? I think it was after that. Super D at Mahon, like Julian and Jason are just like, fuck this, like, you know, because if you go drive, and
I did notice Jason round the left-hander onto the straight, you never jump the curb because your car was low.
Well, because I don't know, it's like a front end impact hitting those.
Yeah.
They're not small fucking curbs. They're big.
No, they're like this tall.
Yeah, like literally that tall. And like I did at the end of Super D when they did the Super Dantai and everybody went out and stuff. I hit one. I like kind of jumped in the first turn. I like jumped the rumble strip on the inside of the hairpin there, and like I didn't notice it. My car felt a little bit slower after like a couple laps after, and then I was coming onto the straightaway again. And I had like Hero and a bunch of other people behind me, and my car just like I had no power, and it sounded like my exhaust fell off or something. And then my steering wheel, I could steer one way and I couldn't steer the other way, and I was like, what the fuck? And I pulled off in the pits, and I had jumped the berm, and my wastegate dump smashed the ground, and it
fuck.
And so the wastegate, the screamer pipe for the wastegate. It's V banded to the wastegate and then V banded to the runner off of the collector there, and it broke the whole thing off the collector on the manifold, and it like wedged it like in my steering column because ours are on that side.
Yeah, on the other side.
Yeah, and
that's scary.
Yeah, so I literally jump a low car at Mahon once and like
destroyed.
Died.
Julian's car got like destroyed too. Also, like after that event, they had like a fun event, like one of the days after that, and Julian's suspension got like totaled because of like a hit because of that. So they came back, and also Julian drove a couple of like the Mahon set up cars. While he was there, and he was just like, it like converted him. He just like he never said like because I mean you remember like all of our cars were I was a holdout too. Like they all did it, and I was like, you guys suck, man. Like this is stupid. You guys are fucking sellouts. Like slam cars for life. And then I tried to drive with them after they all did it, and they just left me on the straight. And I'm like, well, fuck. Okay, I need stickier rears. So I put the stickier rears on. Okay, now I have front push. Okay, now I need bigger front tires. So I'm like, okay, I have to raise the front of my car to put these bigger front tires on so that I can keep up with them. So it's just this like natural progression of that's really what happened. It was like
or welders.
we're half and half.
What?
Jason and I are welded. Brandon and Julian are two-way.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a proper diff in my car at some point. It's just one of those expenses that I haven't been able to free up.
Like,
Yeah.
need it, do you?
I kind of regret mine. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
No,
I was gonna say a lot of
I
people
kind of
say
regret
don't
going.
do it because
I've
only got experience with.
I don't
welders,
regret
so
my
I don't know.
two-way. I just hate the fact of when I started to drive from driving on a welder for so many years, then going to a two-way. The your driving style changes with a two-way in it. I find because like when you come off power with a two-way, the diff opens up. It will open up and it will pull the car straight. Whereas on a welded diff, you'll keep your wheels are they're locked all the time, no matter what you do power-wise.
Yeah.
But I'd never go back to a welded now.
I'm the other way. I want to go back to my two-way after I broke it and went to a welder because it's cheap and easy at the track. I want to go get a two-way again, but again, it's the cost that. Well, I don't.
Have you still got your two-way? Have you still got it?
No. I had to sell it because I needed to fix my car.
Oh yeah.
I sold mine. Yeah, I had one in my SRT, and I was like, "Oh, that's a lot of money. Like, here, someone else take this, and I'll try welded."
Yeah.
Happens.
The only regret I have with I've got a Nismo GT two-way, and I got it made by a company because I wanted it to be good, and it is good. But
No. I'm pretty sure you asked them to build you a 4.6.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
You waited for a very long time for this 4.6 to come. You're like, now you want a 4.6? I need a 4.6. So,
I just wanted one. No one in the UK had a 4.6, so I thought I needed a 4.6.
We can't get them.
So it arrives, and it arrives in a crate, all brand new and shit, and it's all built up and it's ready to go. And it's a 4.3.
Yeah.
Man.
Anyway, the only part I don't like is when you're chasing someone close and you're trying to do adjustments with the handbrake. The handbrake now has to do way more work than it did before. So like you're having to brake both wheels independently.
Individually. Yeah.
Whereas before, like if you just had one
working caliper,
or one really good working caliper, that braking force would just transfer to the axle.
You could just be a standard European and just say left foot braking, mate. Oh fuck, left foot braking. I don't get left foot braking.
Yeah, left foot braking.
No, I don't get it.
You do that. For me, the only time I ever left foot brake is when I'm about to crash into you.
Do crash into me.
And I over rotate and then either end up hitting the back of my car towards the back of your car, which is somewhat frustrating.
I really want to drive my car now.
We haven't crashed in so long.
Yeah.
So sad.
I just want to drive it.
Coming up.
So sad.
It's like earthquake, man. If it hasn't happened for a while, it's gonna happen.
I mean, I seen in American news, like none of us care about it, but they're starting NASCAR again in a few weeks, aren't they?
That what?
They're starting
NASCAR.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some difference of opinion whether or not that's a good idea.
Or not.
Yeah, I won't comment on that because whatever. But
I mean, I'm glad to see them doing something because that means we might get closer to actually going to go drive somewhere at some point.
It's a ploy. They're trying to get rid of all of the fucking rednecks that love going tailgating. So they're just going to try and get rid of the whole lot. Just get rid of
they opened up the bars in Texas. My friend who lives in Texas, he's like, yeah, they opened up the bars in Texas, but like, he's like, you got to do social distancing though. And I was like, at a bar? Like
Somebody's doing that.
What is it, like 6 foot like boxes that everybody has to stay in, and everyone's like, it's like Frogger, and you got to like jump over here and get to the bar.
It's going to make
on your head.
It's going to make bar fights really awkward. Like only really tall, long
they're just going to say really hurtful things to each other.
Shout horrible insults.
Yeah, what they need to do is just take it back to medieval times and start jousting again. I mean, that's social distance in its prime.
Yeah, it is.
It is. It is.
Horse a big long fucking stick.
Yeah. It's only social distancing if you hit each other, though.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, UK
make sure that sticks 6
social
feet.
distancing for years.
Yeah.
I for sure have.
I mean, yeah, it's just one day soon we may get to drive again. Maybe.
It'd be nice,
Right.
wouldn't it?
I mean,
I'm
I've spent.
getting sick of this.
Well, I'm still not at work, so I've done everything that I could possibly do to my car, bar drive it now. I mean, I've done loads of internet and loads of phone calls. Like, yeah, right, I'll set my suspension up like this then. Cool. I mean, okay,
Well,
cool.
yeah, because we've just changed to standard lower arms again, haven't we?
Yeah,
And
stock
loads of
lower
space.
arms and massive spacers.
Ah, okay. So you're going. So you're almost there. Now you just need to raise the front a little bit.
Me and Dan are halfway there.
Dan's convinced that he can have the same effect by what he's not same, but a greater effect on what he's got already by doing these changes.
Yeah. I know it'll work but I obviously couldn't jump curbs and apexes.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that sort of shit in this. It won't work. But in the same sentence, we don't have the tracks around here in the UK that demand
Warrants
that kind of driving. Yeah. It's just. So I'm just like, see what happens. I mean, it's got to be. I'm going in the right direction on car setup. I believe I am anyway. So.
Well, until we drive them, we won't know, will we?
Yeah, I'm still trying to get 17.
They're absolutely dog shit.
It definitely takes.
Mate. I drove mine up and down the driveway. Mint, perfect.
Yeah.
That's it. It's tested.
Test on the little bit of concrete that I've got soon. Once I put a new clutch in.
Danny, that's almost a proper fucking track. Don't just play it off as a little bit of concrete.
No, it's 40 foot by 70 foot.
I mean, what's the
that's more than enough
track thing?
Yeah.
So like you can top a second and you can like throw it at the top a second. So,
we could, Danny, we could run an actual event on that bit of
yeah, decent figure of 8 in.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
That's a UK drift event.
Yeah.
King of the cone. King of the cone.
There's like a drop into it as well. You know, you could run the other direction to a jump.
That is like my bash bar hits the floor if I go.
Yeah, it is. It's vicious.
It's a vicious. In the videos, it doesn't look that vicious, but it's.
No, it is.
It fucking
So that's the track you actually need to raise your car for then.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Danny's garden.
Your backyard.
Oh madness!
Fuck's sake!
Right. Going back to the original question, I guess. Like, I would.
Oh, you remember the question? God damn. Okay, carry on.
Yeah. I would build another standstill super low car. Like my car used to at its lowest. I was tucking 17s in the front, and that's actually when I took it to Mahon. I was at rim on 17s in the front. And I think a lot of people there were kind of interested just to see a low car drive at Mahon because that was
Some people are like, "Wow, you can really drive this well here. That's crazy. Like we haven't seen a low car here in 10 years."
Have you always run stagger then on your car, like a 17, 18 stagger?
Yeah, and it wasn't. And honestly, it wasn't even because I purposefully bought 17s and then 18s. I had a friend who traded me a pair of 17s and then a pair of 18 57Ds pop up, and I was like, yeah, I'll buy those for the rear.
Yeah.
And it just happened to work out to be a better setup, I guess, for.
Yeah, we all switched. We all were 18 all around, and then Jason's like, all right, I don't have to change anything. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we want to go.
Well, we're at the moment we're talking to Driftworks can we get a load of 17s for our cars, please? This just to try. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're basically going for the same setup as you, just without the.
So
and the B knuckle, basically.
Yeah.
What front tire size do you guys run?
I run 225 on the front at the moment.
Yeah, 225/40.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you could easily fit a 235/40 17.
Yeah. What are we watching?
We're watching a slammed S14 from Jesse.
That's Streeter though. But he's not.
Yeah, do you know how?
That's my point. Do
you know how long ago that was?
That was so long ago.
Now it's shit.
Look how fast he isn't going.
Yeah.
Look
how he's the angle that he's carrying through the corner is nothing compared to now.
Still cool.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you if you put that car at that point trying to chase like Naoki down the straightaway or something,
I know.
it's two solo runs at that point.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you had a team of Jesse Streeters in those
Which
cars,
you will never have.
Let's be honest.
He is the lone wolf.
If you put a team of anyone ever trying to chase down Naoki down Main Street, you're going to lose regardless of what vehicle you bring up against
I know. I'm just saying. Let's say Naoki isn't at the front. Let's just say it's a team of dudes who've got low cars.
You'd be
Mayhan at their own speed, their own style.
You'd be
like Jesse Streeter did.
Yeah.
You'd be really surprised, honestly. Like they're there. When you go, it's like he'll lose events there to his friends and stuff. Like there are people who are that good.
Yeah.
As consistently and not like that like extra gear, but like there are people who can like keep up with him, put it on his door. Like there are drivers there that you've never heard of. Like last time we went, like Semi Tanaka just showed up and like one of the dudes that was with us rode with him and he said the entire rear subframe was like slopping around in the car going onto the front straight. And he's like, this is the same car that like everybody always post, you know, that like white S13 with like the like very colorful graphics on the side. It's like a white Sylvia. Anyway.
Yeah.
I think probably see the pictures. Yeah.
But yeah, like that car now looks terrible. But when you go there, like there's a ton of like, so I mean, if you were a group of slammed cool cars going down the straight, you're gonna be in like a sea of people. Like literally, we watched. Anyway, I probably shouldn't talk about that story. But there was like, you're in. It's the Wild West a little bit. Like it's a very interesting place. And it's like kind of like the most no fucks given place I've ever been, in like many senses. So it's like if you go there and you can go drive like on their level in your cars low, then
absolutely fucking not. No, I couldn't.
Yeah.
No,
so it's like even if you do drive together really sick, but you're still sort of like they'll be like, you know, if you raise your car. So I mean I can't say that from experience because I didn't drive good there either. So.
So if we ever get to the position where we could potentially bring our cars over to the States, we're just going to get left behind anyway. So then we're like, what's the point?
No, you wouldn't.
No,
you wouldn't.
No.
Especially at Super D, because Super D has funky rules, and I enjoy the Super D rules. I do enjoy them.
I was just going to try and get them to lower the cars again, so we could all look cool as fuck.
I just want your car to start on a key, Saul. That's all I want, to be honest.
Me too, Dan. # me too. Me too.
Hashtag.
I don't know if that's how that works, but okay. All right.
It works here.
I think that's a different hashtag. Different hashtag.
Full circle. Me too.
Yeah.
Me and a number 2, maybe.
Yeah.
Mewtwo?
Mewtwo.
Are we talking Pokemon right now?
Yeah.
It's definitely
we can.
Pokemon, isn't it? We're talking Pokemon.
That was Mewtwo.
Yeah. Mewtwo.
I'll be right back. I've got to pee.
I was going to say, we're probably going to
we're going to be going anyway. I've got to go and eat something because I haven't eaten in fucking ages. So,
well, this has been real fun. I enjoyed this. I'd like to do this again, like at some point soon. This is Saul waving like the Queen. In the UK, everyone has to wave like the Queen. That's the rule. When you finish a podcast, you have to wave like the Queen.
Do it again once we're all driven again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we're allowed out.
Yeah.
We could tell you how our cars drive with the new setups.
Yeah.
And it'd be fully dreamboat eventually if we could all get to share the same bit of track.
Yeah.
At some point.
Would be great.
Definitely.
Would be great. Yeah.
Right. Cheers.
Let's try and smuggle Dan's S15 into the country somehow.
Yeah, and then you can leave it with me. It's fine.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
To answer Billy's question, I still don't know how to end a call.
We're just going to be stuck here forever. We'll just be.
Yeah. So you're going to have to do it for me.